All right, Rory, we back for another episode of Don't Know Ball. Today we are joined by somebody who absolutely knows ball.
Sure.
One of my favorite players, 17-year NBA veteran, a guy that dominated his position. Was fun to watch, very smooth. Was lefty down there on the block, so it's, you can't do nothing with that down there on the block when they lefty. Good dude, man. A guy that I spent some time around while he was playing. Had some good nights. Some good nights out in the city. We are joined by Zebo, Zach Randolph.
So, what's up, fellas? What's up, fellas?
Before we get into anything, I want to ask you, do you have any mall stories?
Mall, man. That's my brother, man.
What's Mall's club swag like?
I see Maul do a lot of shit in practice, man. Like, Maul, one of the best ever ball handlers that ever played the game.
He talking about Maul Crawford. He talking about Maul Crawford.
I was talking about this Maul.
I'm talking to Maul. Okay.
Yeah.
You talking Maul, my man.
Yeah. Zebo, how you been, man? First of all, congratulations on retirement. And wrapping up a great career as a guy that watching you play. You and one of my other favorite players to watch growing up, Derek Coleman. Remind me a lot of DC Derek Coleman. How was adjusting to retirement? How's that been for you?
Man, it's been good. For me, because I had things set up. I got an entertainment company called Endless Entertainment, which started back in Memphis. Me and my partner, one of my best friend, Marcus Howell, and had a chance to, being blessed to sign Moneybagg Yo, one of the best rappers in the game, best artist, best lyricist, and man, it was a blessing, and got more talent in the city and other states, and just been working, man, just been grinding.
Yeah, you've obviously what you did in Portland and here in New York in your career was great, but what you did down in Memphis, it has to be at least 12 statues of Zebo around the city of Memphis, at some point. How has it been adjusting to getting into business and like you said, signing Moneybagg Yo? How has that experience been for you?
Man, it's been good. I started the record label when I was playing in Memphis, so I was still working and grinding with the team. So it was good. It was a smooth transition. A lot of guys that starts labels, it's always the opposite. It's not a good turnout. I know guys that when I came into the league, guys started labels. They's like, man, I lost $4 million. I'm 18, 19. I got OGs talking about how they lost $4 million. I'm like, shit, I ain't even have $1 million. So,
yeah.
I always was, just always was annoyed and scared about, getting to music. But Memphis has so much talent, man, and so much, culture, and so many talented artists, man. It was the best thing to do. So, it was a blessing, man.
How did you first originally get in contact with Moneybagg Yo?
The city that's been in Memphis, me being in the city, I give it back to the city. You know what I'm saying? I give back and around the city, around the community. You know what I mean? And he wanted to work with me. You know what I mean? He was up and coming, and he's seen the loyalty there, he's seen the honor, and he wanted to get on the train. I seen it in him too. The talent and a special artist he was, and so it was just perfect fit.
What was it like starting that label and having an artist like Moneybagg Yo?
It was good. It was good, man. Just being, just getting out there, learning things, and seeing how the music industry worked with Bag coming up and all kind of different things. So, man, it was the best experience ever. You know what I mean? Yep. So it was the best experience ever, and I can't complain, man. It's been a blessing. You know what I mean? Just not only that, just to work with other artists in the business space. We got artists named D Moolah, Big Homie G, Big 30, Mud Brother Bo, Nick Hardbody. We got so many artists with so much talent, and our artist Lonely Girl. So it's a blessing, man, just to get in there, get in the studio to, listen to different beats and hearing different artists and, tell their side of the story.
Now, Zebo, we from the same, we was born the same year. We came up, the same era listening to music. How was the music adjusting to the music now for you as opposed to when we was coming up listening to hip hop? How was it like, is your ear still like, damn, this ain't what I'm used to, but I got to kind of get used to this new sound, this new wave, because now I'm invested financially and as a businessman with these artists?
Yeah, it's definitely different now. I think these now it's more, you got different genres. You got the hip hop, but you also got the different kind of hip hop. So,
Right.
I like where it's at. I'm a fan of music. Not only that, man, I love all music. I listen to a lot of R&B, a lot of old R&B, a lot of hip hop. I like Latin music.
Mm-hmm.
I like all type of genres of music. So just learning about different genres. I think with us, we be so just stuck with the hip hop, but no, it's other genres out there that's good music. So for me, I love music, man, all the way around.
What type of artists were you listening to as a kid?
Man, for me, I'm from the Midwest, from Marion, Indiana. So I grew up listening, MC8, MC Breed, Top Authority, Busta Rhymes. So Spice One, Brother Lynch, Hung, Sibo.
Yeah.
So 3-6 Mafia.
Mm-hmm.
So I because where I'm from, we listen to everything. I'm from the Midwest, so I grew up listening to everything.
How far are you guys from Chicago?
Chicago about 2 hours.
2 hours? Okay, so you attach more to the Chicago scene too sometimes? Like Twister, Do or Die?
Twister, all of them, Do or Die. Like, I grew up, that was my era, you know what I mean? I grew up listening to that, you know what I mean?
Now, you was drafted to Portland at the time when you got there, they dubbed y'all the Jailblazers because of y'all style of play. Talk to that transition coming in from college, coming in from Michigan State, highly touted, one of the best players in college coming out. When you got to Portland, who was your vet? Who was the guy that put his arms around you and kind of like helped you get your legs under you in the league?
Man, you know what? It was all the OGs, from Bunsey Wells to Damon Stoudemire to Rasheed Wallace. All them guys took me under their wing some way or somehow, and I learned something from every one of them guys. As a young man coming into the NBA, trying to find my way, and looking up, and them guys looking up to the Rasheeds and watching how Scottie Pippen, how they conduct being a professional. Showing up, being a first at practice. In the weight room. Doing things like that. So I learned something from all them guys, man.
Now, you a name you mentioned that's another, revolutionized the power forward position, Rasheed Wallace. What was those battles like for young Zebo coming in and having to be in practice and having to guard Sheed and go at Rasheed Wallace?
Man, it was tough, man. Like you said, coming in, 18-year-old, 19-year-old rookie, looking up to them guys, you know what I mean? She was one of my favorite players coming, growing up, you know what I mean? And so just getting to compete against him, the bigs, Arvydas Sabonis, one of the best passing bigs that ever played the game. So just competing against them guys every day, coming in. I didn't play my first couple of years in the league, but I got so much better in practice. Yeah. Going at them boys, talking shit, going at Sheed, Sheed talking, shit to me and all the other guys, that making me compete harder. Our practices, it was on. Like, guys literally get to fighting and cussing each other out. Like, it was that type of, like, nah, we're gonna bust y'all ass. Like the second team, like, we had a whip, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So we wasn't just going,
Yeah. One of the names you threw out there, Arvydas Sabonis, I'm a little, we obviously the same age, but I hear a lot of, praise and talk about Jokic, and rightfully so. I think what he's doing is amazing, and he's one of my favorite players to watch. But I'm old enough to remember what Sabonis looked like, and a lot of people don't know, but Sabonis before the injuries and how he dominated over in the EuroLeague and things that he was doing. How is it, for somebody like you who actually saw that up close and personal, and then you get to look at guys like Jokic today in the league, and you don't hear guys, they say, oh, we've never seen nothing like this, but somebody like Zach Randolph, who was in practice with Arvydas Sabonis, how was that for you, like, to sit down and sit back and hear guys say, like, we've never seen nothing like this, and you've actually played with some of the most legendary big men of the game?
And yeah, like you said, just notice people, and it's depending on who's saying that too, because like you said, Arvydas, he was a one of a kind, like Jokic. Jokic, he's a special player, one of the best to ever play the game. But Jokic got a lot of Marc Gasol. Marc Gasol, had the same thing. And Jokic, they remind me of each other a lot. You know what I mean? Where they lead the team with the pass. Like Mark was our IQ on the team, defensively and offensively. He get everybody going. He got me going on both ends. You know what I mean? And it got me a touch. So just seeing how they play, they remind me so much of each other. And like you say, he got a lot of Arvidas in him. Jokic does. You know, he's a special player. But like you said, there's players that's before him that you can put in that same realm of things with Jokic. Like, hey, you got a lot of this. You got a lot of Arvidas. You got a lot of Mark in you. The guys that play this game.
Do you ever sit back and watch the game today when you see guys like Jokic and you kind of sit there in front of the TV and rub your hands together like, damn, I wish I had a shot at him because I know exactly how I had to guard him. He got to come back and guard you now. Like, how is it watching the game now with these guys like Jokic and you sitting back knowing what you did and your style of play? Like, do you ever sit and wish you had that opportunity to match up?
You know what, man? I got to play against Jokic in his younger years. You know, when I played against him, he always had talent. Like you said, he always had them intangibles, always can score the ball, can pass the ball, and he can shoot it. And you knew he was going to be a good player. And you look at his progression of playing, and you see that he's getting better. So, yeah, man, I sit back and watch these young fellas play. Man, it's a lot of talent. But damn right, I wish I can get out there and go at them boys and throw some elbows and, you know, give them a little of that old school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But, them boys is tough, though.
Do you ever watch the game now today and ever feel like, you know, most of the fans today, we kind of feel like the game has changed so much? Because, like, when you were in Portland, the style of play in the league then, not even Portland, Memphis, the style of play is so different, and not just team by team. It's like around the league unanimously, everybody is playing the same. It's just shoot threes. I read something that the commissioner is thinking about introducing the 4-point shot at some point in the next couple years. Do you just feel like the game is kind of getting away from, one, the physicality, and two, just the essence of like real basketball? Because, you know, you see guys get up and down and everybody stop at the 3-point line and just shoot threes. It's like, okay, I get it, but that kind of takes away some of the fabric of the game, though.
Yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. You know, the game has changed. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of more shooting, a lot of more 3-point. But at the same time, I give the game credit because the fundamentals is definitely not where it was. It's more. These guys are 6, 7 feet shooting threes, picking and popping. Like, the game has changed, but at the same point, you know, I feel like for me, like basketball, it's not like it used to be, but you're going to get that. It's like a revolving clock. I always say it all the time. I think it's going to always come back around. You're going to have a draft for maybe 5 years from now, 6 years from now, you're going to have 6, 7 footers. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to have 2 Shaqs coming in where guys like Zach Edey, you know what I mean, and in a post and playing. So I think the game has changed. And the guys, a lot of guys want to play, a lot of teams personnel want to play like Golden State. They the one who set this trend and started playing this way with the 3-point shooter. And I think for that, you got to have the personnel. Now, if you got a team, you got some guys on that team that you got shooters and you got knockdown threes and you could play that way, that's understandable. But I feel like the teams need to play to their strength of what their personnel is on their team. You know what I mean? And some strength might be post player, pick and pop, shoot threes, but teams need to play to their strength of their personnel.
Now, a couple seasons ago, the new face down there in Memphis, Ja Morant, ran into some troubles away from the court. Did you get an opportunity to kind of like tap in with him and reach out to him and kind of put your arm around him and guide him a little bit?
Oh, for sure. You know, that's a little bro. He family, man. Him, his dad's his sister's mother, you know, that's family. You know, Memphis is a small community and it's all love. And, you know, I've been through a lot of shit. You know, I done tapped my head a few times. That's all right, though. Right. You know, how you bounce back is how you come. So, and it's how you be. Your bounce back is real. So, like I tell little bro, just, you know, adversity, man, a small thing to a giant. You get knocked down, get back up. And that's what he's doing. You know, I mean, like he's saying, like he's one of the best players in the NBA. Really the face of the NBA. All these kids want to be like Ja, you know, at the end of the day. You know, I just feel like it's just a minor setback for a major comeback. And that's what he's doing. He's on a major comeback. You know, just keeping his nose clean. And that's all it is, keeping your nose clean and stay out of things and everything else will take care of itself.
Yeah, stay off Instagram.
Stay off Instagram.
Got to stay off that IG.
Register your guns and stay off Instagram. Yes. I was reading a stat that Portland has the most strip clubs per square mile in the entire country.
That's every corner, bro. I've never strip shake joint.
I've never been to a strip club. I've never been to Portland, period. So I've never been to a strip club in Portland. What's the culture like?
Yeah,
out
Zebo,
there?
tell people about, because I got a chance to go to Portland a couple of times and I was surprised, but you actually lived there for some years. Tell people exactly how, like, Portland is an underrated city, man.
And Portland is a great city. Man, the fans is great. Only thing about Portland, just go there in the summertime. During the season, it rains every day, bro. I mean, every day. Like, that shit can be depressing. You know what I mean? So, but besides the rain, the city great, man. The fans, some of the best fans that I ever play for. Every night, they're loyal. They love their Trailblazers, man. And Portland's a great city. Ain't got nothing bad to say about their city. You know what I mean? Just, it rained a lot in season, but in off season, it's so beautiful. It's green. No humidity. I got business still down there, so I'm always in Portland. A lot of friends around there, so I'm always in the city.
Memphis strip clubs or Portland strip clubs?
Memphis.
I'm staying on the strip clubs.
Gotta go Memphis. That's Zebo. I go Memphis.
Memphis cool, but Memphis small too, and Portland small. But I say Portland got a lot more exotics, so I like Portland.
Okay. Exotics. I like, they got more exotics. They got more flavor.
Options.
Yeah, they got more.
Every 4 feet. I mean, you gotta spice it up.
Zebo, who was the hardest player? Now, again, I watched a lot of your games, and I can't remember, but I'm gonna guess you're gonna say Tim Duncan to this question. But who was the hardest player you had to guard?
Man, for me, it's a lot of them. Tim Duncan, definitely. Tim Duncan, KG. Them two guys, for me, was the hardest. And Dirk Nowitzki. You know what I mean? Coming up my era, you know, the Wild Wild West, man. You know, I played in the West, and then it was all forwards.
Yeah.
Chris Webber one night. Dirk, Tim, KG, Carlos Boozer, Andre Karolinko, Elton Brand, Lamar Odom. Like, every team in the West, their star player was the power forward.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
LA, you know what I mean? So it's like, where there never was no night off.
Yeah.
You know, in Portland.
Who was the hardest to guard out of all those names?
I'd probably say KG. KG and Duncan, my top two. You know, Ticket just being long and being, you know, wiry, grabbing you hands this big. He grabbed me, the refs letting me do it, and the refs looking at him do it, so he like, you know, he got away with murder. So I say KG.
I remember one incident you had on the court a few years ago. It was personally I liked it because, again, I got a chance to spend some personal time around, so I know your personality. But I also know it was out of love. You and DeMarcus Cousins got into it a little bit.
Love, bro.
No, and I know you love him. I know you got love for him. But you told him, you said, where I'm from, we bully the bullies.
Yeah.
What did you mean by, like, I know what you meant by that, but a lot of people didn't understand what Zach Randolph meant by that.
Man, you know what, man? You know, me and DeMarcus, we always talk shit when we used to play against each other. And, this time he was fucking with his teammate, Buddy Hield. You know, him and Buddy Hield used to play together. And so I hear him just talking to Buddy. I look up, I say, I'm from the bullies get bullied. You know what I mean? I just put in a conversation. And we laughed about it. But nah, it's all good though.
He was one of the guys
from where the bullies get bullied though.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. He was DeMarcus Cousins was one of the guys too, you know, when they talk about the big men and, you know, the Jokic's and the Zebos, before his injuries, you know, DeMarcus Cousins was one of the most electrifying big men to watch. I mean, he was the revolutionized the position too for his window that he had. He could run the floor, he could pass, he could shoot, he could dribble, he could post up. How was it watching his development, again, him being your little bro? How was that for you?
Man, watching Boogie was great because, like I said, he's like what you just said. He's one of the guys that revolution power center. He can shoot the ball. He was big. Every time I played against Boogie, I had to get my rest that night because I knew it was going to be a dog fight. And so definitely. But like you said, little bro, the way he plays the game, like you said, I think he definitely should have played longer than he did. But, you know, there's a lot of politics in the game too, but he's definitely one of the best ever to play in the game still, even though what his career he had for me, because I know Boogie, he can shoot the ball, he can handle it, and he's 7 feet. And,
Right.
he likes contact. He gives you he hits you first. He like me, he's a hit type first guy.
Yeah.
So but definitely and I feel like, guys like me and Boogie, we don't get our due. We kind of rough around the edges and we kind of don't get the respect or get to do what we need to do. But Boogie's one of the best to ever do it.
You played at Michigan State under legendary coach Tom Izzo. What do you feel about, one, the NIL, and two, the transfer portal? How do you feel about those two things?
Man, the NIL, I feel like it's a great thing. A lot of these kids ain't gonna never have a chance to make that much money in their career or in their college life or even after their career playing sports. So I feel like that's a great thing for them. But I think we need to put a cap on it somewhere. We need to start making it like contracts, kind of how like the NBA is. Like, you need to put in stipulations. You know what I mean? And I think that's where it's going. I think eventually it's going to have rules and stipulations, like a cap or something with this NIL. Because, every year, the teams, no more Cinderella teams. There's no more teams building up from, to be able to have a good teams. It's like the money, how much money you got.
Right.
And that's how I go. So if you got some money, that university got some money, you're going to have a good team. And I think, it's kind of hurting the game. It's definitely hurting the younger players because it's definitely a lot of high school players don't get scholarships no more. There's a lot of players, younger players that's missing out because of the older guys in the transfer portal. And you can be a certain age now. So I think it needed to get looked at again and put some stipulations on it. But it's a great thing.
Do you think that'll keep the players in college longer rather than one and done and going right to the league?
Well, I feel like the players just one and done. Like I was a one and done player. Them players stand alone.
Yeah.
Because Cooper Flags, the Queens, the Ace Baileys, and the Harpers, Dylan. Them guys stand alone. So nephew Jace Richardson. So them guys, I think the top players, they stand alone. But like for everybody else, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
that's not a first round pick or, they on the teeter of could be in the NBA or going overseas.
Now, when you was out here, Zebo, with the Knicks, y'all had a great, looking at that roster, man, I don't understand how y'all didn't have more success. Y'all had some dogs on that roster.
We was hopeful.
What do you think went wrong there with the talent y'all had? That may have been one of the most talented Knicks rosters.
Man, you know what? It was, bro. If the first year I got there, I got there for beginning of the season. I got traded the next season during the deadline. The next season when we was off and running, I think we was 9-2 or 8. We was above. We was like 4 or 5 games above 500. So we were starting to take off. And then the big LeBron dilemma coming in. They thought LeBron was going to come to New York, and they had a chance, and they got rid of all of us. They got rid of me, Maul. They traded all the guys, and I felt that was the team. Right there, that team was right there was going to be able to compete, and we was off to a great start. And boom, all of a sudden, everybody got traded.
Playing in a couple organizations, do you think James Dolan mismanages the entire Knicks organization?
I definitely do. I like Mr. Dolan, but I think, and I think that's what he's doing now. I think he's kind of understanding that because he brought great people in. You got Wes. You got I think Leon
Rowe.
So you got the great guys that's coming in. So I think now that it's different than when I was there. Because I heard all the talk. Dolan's this, Dolan's that. But for me, I met Dolan a few times, and he had brought me to the Knicks, and I ain't got nothing but respect for him. But I think he's starting to understand now that let other people take over, and maybe I step back a little bit, let these guys run the show. So I think that's what's going on now.
What was the difference?
New York's the Mecca, bro. I mean, shit, that's the Mecca. But the Knicks got a lot of history.
But Dolan, I think Dolan's thing was because you played in the Garden. It's sold out every night, no matter who's on the roster.
Yep,
it's in the middle of Manhattan. So I don't think that Dolan don't really have a. Like, it's not broke. The brand sells itself. And no matter who I have on this team, who's coaching, every game is going to be sold out. But that roster that while you were here, looking back, I'm like, I just don't understand how this team didn't like, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the greatest power forwards ever, the greatest sixth man ever, one of the greatest point guards ever. All of these guys, David Lee, like all of these guys. And I'm just like, how the fuck did they not keep this core together and at least get to the finals?
I didn't understand that, man. I really didn't, because, you know, like I said, the squad that they had and the squad that we had when I was there that short period of time, we had a squad, bro.
Yeah.
And we all got along and we all believed. Like that year we got traded, we was like, oh yeah, we about to whoop their ass. Okay, oh yeah, come on. Like, it was, you could see it.
Yeah.
What was the difference like playing in New York as opposed to Portland, Memphis, et cetera?
Man, like you said, it's the Mecca. Just being in New York is just the lights and the glitz, the camera, the action, man. You know what I mean? It don't get no bigger than New York City. You know what I mean? Portland was a great, because it was like you said, it was sold out, you know, most every night in Portland. So the fans was great there too. But that New York just got a different buzz. Different energy, man.
Yeah.
It's just different. That New York just different, man.
What celebrity courtside made you play a little bit harder that game?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
I know it wasn't Ben Stiller.
You know who it was though? Halle Berry.
Okay. Oh yeah, no, that'll wake you up. Yeah, that'll wake you up.
Halle Berry turned me up. She was man.
Yeah.
Beautiful woman too.
You
okay.
Yeah.
Remember your stats from that night?
Man, you know my stats from New York was good. I had plenty. I think that game probably 20 and 15. I had to show out that game.
Yeah,
Halle Berry night.
Halle Berry night.
Halle
Yeah.
Berry. So, but you know, every night, every home game, New York,
It's turned up.
It's star studded. You know what I mean? So shit, it was like, damn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How has it been? Because you have a personality. I think a lot of people know that, you know, obviously your personality is as big as your game. But how has it been transitioning into the pod? Like doing podcasts with you and TA, y'all get to sit around, talk shit, tell some stories. And from two players who were very, very aggressive on the court, now get to sit down and talk to guys that you played against, relive some of the battles and some of the moments you had. How has podcasting been for y'all?
Man, it's been good, man. It's been good. Just like getting a lot of feedback from our peers, from Matt and from Stack Jack and, you know, guys that we talked to, Gil and D Miles and Quick Rich, the guys that's in the space, which I think every one of the guys should be in the space, from Draymond, Barron, all them guys are motivation. So for us, we rough around the edges, you know what I mean? Like, it ain't we ain't giving it to you perfect, we give it to you raw. You feel me? Like, this is us. Like, it ain't gonna be we giving homies they love, showing love, and we're gonna talk about some real shit too. But it ain't never to get on there and I ain't never try to, you know, talk down on nobody. We just giving brothers they flowers, you know what I'm saying? And just showing love, you know, out the mud. Everybody out the mud somewhere, somehow. You know what I mean? Right. You know, everybody got a story, you know what I mean? And it ain't got to be coming up in poverty. You could be the richest. You could be whatever. But it's still out there. You still got out the mud experience somewhere, somehow in your life. You know what I mean?
Who's been your favorite guest so far?
Man, you know what? We'd have some good guests, man. Right now, it ain't no favorite for me because all of them been good. Like, we just had Sasha Vujacic. You know, he's a champion. You know, he never did a pod, so that was great. Sitting, talking to him, you know, he come from a different country where awards where he had to, you know, war. They was dropping bombs and like real out the mud shit. So it's like, wow, you know what I mean? Hear what these guys been through and talking to Big Spain, Marcus Saul, just his experience. And it's been great, man. KD, D Rose, all them guys showing us love, man. And we showing love back to the real ones, man. And it's been great, bro.
For sure. Who out of everyone you play with would you say had the worst music taste in the locker room ever?
Yeah, who's playing that bullshit?
I was playing that bullshit.
How many times you have to unplug the speaker?
Oh, I had to unplug the speaker a lot of times. Or ask who playing this bullshit.
Yeah.
You know who TA plays some good music. A lot of them guys. Probably Rasheed Wallace. He's kind of playing some bullshit.
What was Rasheed listening?
Like, bro, what's this? You know, I'm listening. I'm bumping E40. He talking about, man, don't put on no E40.
Yeah.
You put in some beans, but I listen to beans. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
I fuck with beans.
He
So,
gonna keep it Philly. He gonna keep it Philly.
You know, she gonna keep it straight Philly East Coast.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I'm from the Midwest, so I keep it a little everything.
Yeah,
You feel me?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Nah, but man, them guys always play music. I think for us, we love music, man, and I think the artists they used to play basketball, so it's like a perfect match.
It's always rappers and ball players mixed.
Yeah. So it's crazy like that. If each artist probably they don't play ball, money bag, he think he got a jump shot. You can't tell him he ain't good. You know what I mean? So I just think all these guys, all these guys love music, man. All the NBA players, that's all you see it. We got our listen to warming up with our headphones on now, and it just it fits good with us, man, with the athletes. You know what I mean, and vice versa.
Who was trying to rap in the locker room?
Mike Conley. Mike Conley used to rap a little bit.
Word? I can't see Mike Conley rapping.
He say a few little bars. He say a little J. Cole. He got to say a little J. Cole bars or something.
Okay. All right, I thought you meant he rap. Mike's so laid back and quiet, man.
Yeah. He laid back and quiet. So you get to know him. Who else? A lot of them guys rap, man. Want to be rappers or in the game. But yeah, I can't do no rapping though.
You ain't doing no rapping?
Nah, I ain't doing no rapping. I might get in the booth though and drop a 16 or something, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How has it been? First, I meant to at the top. I meant to congratulate you. Your daughter, congratulations. She's at Louisville now.
Yeah.
She was also McDonald's All-American, and I saw you posted your McDonald's All-American card and her McDonald's All-American card. How was that for you, just as a father? Like, how crazy was that moment to really see that happen?
Man, you know what? It gave me butterflies, man. Just being able to relive that again and see my daughter do it better than me. I want my kids to be better than me and see her worth ethic and the way she loves playing. And it meant so much more to me to see my baby in a situation that light and seeing her playing in the McDonald's All-American game. It really gives you flashbacks like, damn, that was me. I remember my game was in Boston, that year. And, they're doing the same thing, going to see the sites and, the McDonald's houses or whatever they're doing for the itinerary. And it just brought back flashbacks. So, man, it's been great, man. My daughter, she works hard. I'm proud of her, man. It's a big summer for her. So she'll be a sophomore next year. And we working. We working.
No, I know you got her in the gym. I know you got her in the gym.
Work.
I've heard Blake Griffin talk about his pops was his coach all throughout his entire life. Did you coach her through high school or just trained? How did you balance that between being her dad and then training her to be at the level that she's at now?
Well, you know what? It's so funny. I'm there because she like, Dad, So I'm like, come on, let's do this. She like, okay. But then I get a trainer and she like, okay. So I'm there. I just let the trainer do the work. And then I rebound, show her some things. You know what I mean? So, with them kids, man, I don't know. They work harder for the next person. I don't know.
Yeah. They don't. She
works though.
She just don't. Yeah, you dad. Because you dad first. She don't know Zebo. She don't know Zebo. She don't know the killer on the court. She know dad, man. So she ain't listening to dad. But if she go turn that YouTube on and look at some Zach Randolph highlights, she gonna know who she need to be listening to. That trainer ain't do it at that level. He ain't do it at that level.
I try to tell her, man.
All right. We scoured through some of the rappers that mentioned your name in their bars throughout the years of you playing and things like that. So I'm gonna try my best to give you the same cadence and the same flow, but I'm gonna recite some of these lyrics, and I want you to try to guess who the artist is that wrote these bars.
Maul's gonna have to take most of this segment because I can't say a lot of these
There's some words that Rory just can't say, Zebo. He can't say the words.
I can get the cadence, I just don't want to.
All right, first one. Ballin' before I went to Memphis, nigga, I'm Zach Randolph. Soon as you change the price, I ain't think twice, nigga, I ran off.
ESTG.
That's correct.
ESTG, dead wrong.
My boy G-Ski.
Yeah.
We have to stop with this trend of running off on the plug.
Yeah, that's
dangerous.
crazy. Yeah, we can't be. Yeah, that's a dangerous. That's a dangerous energy to be putting out there. We're gonna do another one. Oh, he gonna get this one. On a private jet about to take off. I ain't really with the back and forth talk. 50 in the Glock, Zach Randolph.
Man, money bags.
Moneybag Yo, prayers. All right, let's see. Let me try another one. It was 3 digits in the clip until his mans ran off. Dumb decision gave him half, Zach Randolph.
3 clips. It's a tough one.
That's Baby Tron, Cat Dog.
Shout out to Baby Tron, man.
Yeah.
I think my son might have told me about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baby Tron, cool.
Let me see. Let me give you one more.
I think the last one.
The last one? All right. Living my best life, shorty, you can't never get attached. Went to the plug, got a couple P's, then I ran off like Zach.
My boy Rowdy.
Roddy Rich.
Rowdy Rich. Shout out to my boy Rowdy Rich.
Roddy Rich. So, all right, so
Everyone did the runaway scheme.
yeah, so Zach, you listen. So you hear when these niggas got your name out there, Zach?
You might as well go with this one too.
Love,
Which one is that one? Okay. One more. Wall to wall, the beat slapping like I'm playing handball. In the jungle, I'm a grizzly like I'm Zach Randolph.
No, that one.
I'm gonna give it to you one more time. Wall to wall, the beat slapping like I'm playing handball. In the jungle, I'm a grizzly like I'm Zach Randolph.
Damn, I don't know what that one is, Ma.
That's Drake the Ruler.
Oh,
Drakeo. Rest in peace, Drakeo. Yeah.
Drakeo.
How was that the first time you heard your name in a rap? Like, how long did you play that song? How many times you brought that verse back the first time you heard it?
Man, it was hard.
And who was the
It was
artist? Who was the first artist you heard put your name in a bar?
You know what, man? The little homies out of where I'm from. You know what I mean? Lil Germ. He one of the first guys. You know what I mean? They rap. He started rapping. You know, I got in the league. He put my name in some songs. So really, people from where I'm from.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And like you said, like the Rowdy Riches, the Money Bags, the Yo Gottis, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's my man. So a lot of guys been showing me love, man, on these, put me in these verses. I like that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I got this little young brother out here named Peso. He hard too, you know. He got a song called Zach Randolph, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
wait, where's Peso from?
AFN Peso. He got a song called Zach Randolph.
Okay.
He hard. Yeah, he from LA.
Okay.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. So up AFN. He been making noise. So
Is that the same Peso that was on Kendrick's album? Or a different Peso?
I don't know. AFN Peso.
No, I don't think that was the same Peso. I don't think that was the same one.
He cold though. Y'all gotta check him out. He hard. But yeah, so it's a lot of guys that be showing me some love in the music, man. And you know, they recognize a real one, man. I recognize them too. You know what I'm saying? So it's all love for sure.
Who was the first rapper that you met once you got to the league and they knew who you were?
First rapper I met. I've been doing shit a long time, man. So
17 years.
I know all them guys. Probably Ludacris. When I was 17, when I was 18, I had came to Portland, Oregon to do a show.
Oh, wow.
This before the season, my rookie season. And I came and I met his little brother, Fate. His little Fate rapper. They like, man, we fuck with you, Z-Bo, man. And you know, I had gave him my jersey. This when I was wearing number 7. I had just got drafted. I had number 7. I gave him my jersey. I was at the show. They're like, man, we a big fan.
Oh, he got a number 7, Zach Randolph, Blazers?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
my
when I first got drafted. They ended up changing to 50, but it was 7.
That's
I think we had, I think Greg Anthony had got traded that year, or somebody had that 50.
Mm-hmm. Probably Greg Anthony.
Greg Anthony or Brian, I forgot Brian's last name, but he was a big. So then that's when I got that 50 back.
Yeah.
Zebo, you ever thought about getting into coaching, like on a real level, like at the league level?
You know, I always think about it, and the guys always tell me I should, just to, you know, get the knowledge. I can help the bigs in my game and get the knowledge of the game that I know to help. So I be thinking about it. I really do. But you know, I know the coaching is a lot. I enjoy, you know, my kids. My daughter, she got games at college. I like going to her games. You know, my son, I got an 11-year-old and a 15-year-old daughter, 7, 8, be busy. So, like, I like to be, you know, can go watch them play and enjoy. So, like, coaching, I don't know. But I thought about it, but I don't know. Maybe, you know what I mean, in the future, but not right now.
Yes.
We just saw maybe 2 weeks ago now, the Nuggets fired Coach Malone out of what seemed like nowhere to us. Like we didn't have no knowledge of that. As somebody that obviously played at the highest level, how surprising were you of the news of them firing a coach that just come fresh off a championship 2 years ago, and his team is still one of the best teams in the league. How surprised were you at that firing?
I definitely was surprised. Coach Malone is a great coach. I don't know what was going on in term or what they got, but from the outside looking in, the players respecting him. Not only that, Coach Malone was a loyal coach. He bled Denver Nuggets, and he did whatever he could. For their team to be successful, and he gave his heart and he gave it all. So at the end of the day, coaches get fired, players get traded. You know what I mean? So it all comes hand in hand. But I could say one thing about Coach Malone: he's a great coach, great guy, and he gonna go to war for you. He gonna go back for his players.
Now, you obviously, I think it's safe to say this. They had to run that by Jokic before they did that. Like, I don't think they could make that move without consulting Jokic first.
Because it should get tricky, man. Shit get tricky when it comes to that. These guys, these owners, they don't, some of them do, some of them don't. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. It can get tricky because you got some owners, they like, shit, this is our team, we run it. Like they don't tell players when they getting traded. They just trade you. So, it's kind of like hand in hand. So, I don't know if they told Jokic that, they could have.
I think he came out and said that they spoke to him, I guess right before they was about to fire him. They told him why they were doing it. But he said basically he had no call in it. I don't know if I believe that. I believe Jokic is the franchise, and I think that they have to run everything through him. I'm not saying it was a personal thing between Jokic and Coach. I'm not gonna go that route, but I do think that he had to know something. I think that it was more surprising for Luka to get traded than it was for Coach Malone to get fired from Denver. I think the Luka trade was absolutely. I think nobody. I don't think Luka didn't even know about that. But I think that Jokic definitely knew about Coach Malone being let go before they obviously did it. What did you think about the Luka trade?
It was surprising when I heard it, but I'm like, what the hell? You know what I mean? Just like everybody else was. Coach and Nico, that's my man too. You know what I mean? So, like I said, Nico seen a vision too. You know what I mean? That, he saw and the owners or whoever above him saw, and they went with the move. Like I said, this the NBA, man. Anything can happen. You know what I mean? Shit. Some of the best go to different teams. So, like I said, it was God's plan. Like I said, this is probably what God wanted for Luka, and it's working out the best now.
Being from Indiana, how do you feel about Freddie Gibbs?
Man, I fuck with Freddie. Freddie the homie, you know what I mean? Freddie got a great talent. He putting on for the Indiana, putting on for GI, you know what I mean? So, in enough respect, when you got an Indiana guy coming out and hard like he is, you know what I mean? So I fuck with Freddie.
Have y'all connected before?
Oh, for sure. Hell yeah.
I'm surprised.
We try to do some shit together, you know what I mean, with some of the artists and him, because, he hard, and you know what I mean? And I like his music.
I'm surprised there's no Zach Randolph bars from Freddie.
Yeah,
I think he's due up for
absolutely.
Zach.
I holler at Fred, man.
Absolutely.
Man. Pop my thing, get in this video, and pop my collar,
Exactly.
Before we get out of here, top 5 Memphis rappers of all time.
I ain't got no order because there's so much talent, so much, man, from Project Pat to Moneybag Yo to 3-6 Mafia, Young Dolph to 8-Ball, MJG. Man, Memphis got so much talent.
Yep.
I mean, I keep going. Yo Gotti's to the, you know what I mean, to Player Fly. Like, it's so many artists. Gangsta Black, you know what I mean? Like, Lil White.
Yeah.
So many, Memphis got so much talent, you know what I mean?
I don't think they get the credit they deserve. Memphis is
like, but we do and we don't because they know what it is. You see what I'm saying? They know, they don't want to say it, but everybody knows it. You know what I mean? That's why you got all the big time labels in Memphis signing all these artists, all these producers. Every label, they in Memphis, they got guys on the ground.
Yeah.
Going around looking for talent. You know what I mean? We need to keep all the talent in-house. You know what I mean? I ain't just saying to endless, to in-house, to the people that's got it going on where they can put these artists out. So, cause they in the city, man. They in the city, they working. They trying to take everybody out the city, man. Which I don't blame them because it's business and these kids and men and women in Memphis are talented. You know what I mean? Not just on the musical side, on the creative top side too. You know, let's not forget about the creative side. You know what I mean? Cause so city got it going on. It's got a bad negative light. People be scared of Memphis, but Memphis is a blue collar town with blue collar hardworking people like myself. You know, just out the mud. There's nothing given easy.
Being a music exec yourself, can you speak to what Yo Gotti has built with CMG? Because I feel like he doesn't get brought up in the conversations when you're talking Cash Money,
That's
Rockefeller, Death Row. Like Yo Gotti has really built an empire with CMG.
Man, hats off, kudos to my bro Yo Gotti, man. Not only that, I seen Gotti grind. Like I always was a fan of Gotti's music, and just to see him being able to be around him and see him grow to where he's at now, he been grinding. This shit wasn't easy. Gotti out the mud. He really out the mud. Like this shit he rapping about, like he ain't telling no lies, and guys respect him. You know, he's a businessman. He's a business-minded person, and all he does is work. You know what I mean? Gotti is a workaholic, and you got to work to what you want to do. And Gotti's a prime example of being in this game, taking steps and working to where he get. And I'm proud of him, man. He done created something for his family and to pass on and to keep building.
For sure. No, it's a legendary label already.
All right, Zebo. Well, we appreciate you, man. It's good talking to you, man. I got to link with you next time I'm out there on the West Coast, man. We got to hang out, man. And we love what you and Tony Allen is doing. Continue to do what y'all doing without the mud. And definitely me and Rory got to come by and sit on the couch and kick it with y'all too and talk some shit,
we know
man.
you got to get y'all on, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. We're going to make it happen, man. It was good talking to you. We appreciate you, bro.
Fellas. Man, appreciate y'all.